So we are here in our organic tunnels, and you'll see they've grown well since last time, a couple of weeks ago. Our Uncle Peter's here and we are re-ridging or just passing them with a crawler frame again, and that is just to try and knock out any of the weeds. So you'll see they're growing really well, very happy. Slightly, tiny bit uneven, we do seem to get that in the indoor, just with the overhead irrigation. It's never the same as natural rain, so you do get a bit of variation. Other than that, very pleased. The goal we're trying to do here is take out all these little weeds. You can see they're all just growing through, and by passing the bankers we're going to knock through and hopefully not disturb the ground and just ridge them up a little bit. We had a tiny bit of damage from the wind the other day, so that's just re-sheeted over, but we'll come up now. You can see with the crawler he's coming up, and it'll basically be re-ridging gently as it goes up. So you can see it's come along and it's disturbed all that ground, knocked out and sucks a bit more greed up. It's always tricky. You think that you're doing damage to the potatoes and they look like they've been knocked quite a bit, but in a week or so's time these will all be standing back up and you wouldn't even know you've done it. If you don't do it, the weeds take over in these organic ones. You have to do this. So I say it does look like they've been knocked a bit, but actually it's all fine. So we pass this and then we'll watch them come back down in a second. So you can see it's going down and doing a really nice job. And I say it's all the weeds being taken out, ground's being pushed up, and then in a couple of weeks time we'll come back and have a look and you won't even notice that we've been through the machine. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, we've got the planters going. Conditions are nice. Planting some English salad varieties today. Getting grown for a specific contract. This is the Midema Structural 2000, the exact name as it goes past. It's a bell planter. Potatoes get tipped into that hopper, and then it's got a opening ridger there which opens up the ridge, and the potatoes get dropped in through that sponge wheel behind it. It basically goes along, and there's a belt there running along. You'll see we are getting a few gaps at the moment. We'll talk about it in a second. We're getting, you can see there, I'll dig a few more up, but we're getting the odd gaps on the belt. So I'll show you that in a second, what I mean. We'll have a dig around and show you that. So yeah, that's what you're looking for, is nice even plant spacing. These aren't our Jersey Raw, this is an English variety, an English salad variety. And what you're trying to aim for, we'll show you, just seen on the planter, is you want the same distance between each potato. And that then leads to uniformity when you come to harvest. So when you're digging along here, that's what I'm trying to find, is that the potato has got not too much ground covered on the top. That's a little bit closer, but we accept that. It's sometimes it is a bit tricky because you can see that's a little bit further, but they're not too bad. The variation in the seed size does make it a bit trickier, but it's doing quite a nice job. This is a Miedema. And you can see there, that's the belt which takes them along. We're struggling a little bit this morning because there's a little bit of variation in the seed size. So we're getting some of the bigger ones are knocking off some of the smaller potatoes when they come along the belt. So we are finding and getting it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. You can see there, it's not too bad, but we're getting there you go, a slightly bigger gap there, but to be honest, it's still pretty good. We'll take that. So I say, yeah, but that's not really, can't complain really. That's pretty good. You'll never have it perfect, but the cut plants we got going over there, I'm going to show you that in a minute. That does a much more accurate job. Belt planter can go quicker. And when you get a slightly smaller seed, it goes a lot better, but we're trying to plant some slightly bigger seed today, which makes it a bit harder. So this is the other planter going. This is the Grimmie. This is actually a cut planter. It's the GL32F. Sorry if it's a bit windy. We're actually planting, these are some organic. This is an organic field. The rain is coming, so we're quite, didn't want to risk it, didn't want any rain to come on the ground, so we've only done about a third of this field. Annoyingly, I think we could have probably done more, but anyway, that's just the way it is. Come up really nicely, it's dried really well today. This is an English variety, it's called Colleen. These will be going to the UK to box schemes, and then hopefully these will be harvested kind of middle of May. Cut planter is doing a really nice job, really nice even spacing. You see here, we've got the seed in little trays. That's just to try and encourage a little shoot to emerge. You can see here, all of the little shoots are just starting to emerge, the little shoots there, and that's perfect. So these are going to go in the ground, hopefully shoot and start sprouting quickly. And the cut planter works. By very simply, the potatoes are tipped in and then get taken up the belts there. Annoyingly, there's like a vibrator plate underneath here that has stopped working. We don't know why. We've got to look at that tonight. So that's what the guys having to use a stick just to push them and keep it fed. The reason why we got these trays and this table here rather than a hopper is we basically tip the boxes onto here and they get into the shoots don't get damaged as much. So hopefully when you'll see them going in the ground. And if we dig up, where are they? There they are. The little shoots. If we dig around there, you should see it somewhere. There it is, the next one. Bit hard to see on here, but the shoots so small. What we find is for our Jersey Royals, the shoots will actually not be damaged. We find and get a lot more damage, and the shoots get knocked off more. So we found this works really well for our early ones, and then we go on to the Miedema, which is the belt plant you've just seen before. But we are using that for all of like kind of March plantings where the ground's a lot warmer, the potatoes will kind of emerge a lot quicker, so you haven't got to worry so much about having the sprout there or being knocked off. But this time of year when it's cold, it's freezing today, it's only about 5-6 degrees, so we want these potatoes to have the best start possible. this is where we've all been planting the last few days. We've got on really well this week, done a lot. Adam just been getting all the polythene laid out. You can see that's all these 3 fields in a row being laid out. Pavel's been getting all the slots made for where the plastic's going to be put into. You can see there, that's one of the slits, and he's just going to finish off. That's the last thing you do once Adam's just put out all the plastic. We now drive along, and he'll make the hole for them to go in. So you'll see he'll come. He's doing the ends there now. The crows have been really bad in this field. You'll see they've pecked out where the potato's been showing a little bit. They've actually pecked out and eaten. So it's good to get this covered over. That's it there. Keep it with our seeding machine. I'll say that's, and then the guys come along and they'll slot or push the plastic into that hole. You've got the double one, that also folds down as well. But he's done all those now, so we'll just see the single one. We'll get you the double one at some point. You see there, it's making a nice slit, clean slit, and then the guys say we'll push it all in. A few people asking how, these plastics are 12 metres wide. It will cope pretty much, when it's just been laid, doesn't really matter about the wind. Obviously if we had like force 10 or kind of 70-mile-an-hour winds, it would come off, but when it's flat and level on the field, it does withstand quite a lot of wind. The problem comes when the potatoes start emerging. That's when the plastic's pushed up and the wind actually gets underneath it. That's when you start getting the issue with it coming off. And then if you have kind of force 7, force 8 winds, then it can be, it starts flapping quite a bit. But I think if we do a good job laying it, and the guys, they're really good, so it's a skillful job what they do there, but they lay it really well. We can also put like extra sacks, which is what we tend to do on the earlier fields on the east coast. We put a lot of like Hessian sacks and fill them up the ground as extra protection. It's where the wind comes straight off the sea and it whips up quite heavy or strong, so it helps keeping it all down. But no, it's always nice to get all the fields you planted kind of covered over with the polythene before we get too heavy a rain. So hopefully they'll all do quite well. So yeah, we're also just out looking at this is an Italian ryegrass lay. This is where we sowed. See the Italian rye. This is the Italian ryegrass. Italian ryegrass, very quick growing annual grass. Only lasts a couple of years. We use it a lot for cover crops, following potatoes or following barley. There's some reminiscence of winter barley just coming through there. This was sown back on the 22nd of August following the barley harvest. So we harvested the barley, combined it, then we spread some slurry, then we just broadcast on some top Italian ryegrass. I think we put it at 8 kilos of vergy. That's about 18 kilos an acre, and yeah, it's doing really well. Took a bit of a while to get going, but it established well before the winter. And what it's going to do now is it's going to provide us with a very useful grazing for our young stock. This is always quite a tricky time for us as we start ploughing up a lot of the potato fields ready for planting. We start losing some of our grazing lays where we're kind of outwintering our young stock, and it's just that kind of worst period is now, basically February, March into April, just before the ground starts warming up and the grass starts growing. The moment we go through the rotation quite quick, and it takes a while for it to grow back. So having this extra grazing, although there's a cost to putting the cover crop in after the barley, we're only going to get one graze off it, but it's well worth it because it means, well, obviously it's used up any nutrients that were left following the barley crop, Hopefully it's going to improve soil structure, and it should hopefully make the soil texture nicer as well when we come to plough it. So this field will be ploughed up probably towards the middle of March for a potato seed crop, our Jersey Raw seed crop. But before that we'll get heifers on here to graze, and also probably spread some more slurry before we plough it up. So kind of the whole cycle starts coming in. So thank you for watching today's video. Hope you all found it interesting. And yeah, we're drizzly today. Hoping tomorrow we've got a few showers first thing, and then we will hopefully get ploughing lunchtime-ish, and hopefully get planting some more rules. So speak to you all on Wednesday.